Let's get into purchasing then. So I'm going to go into my purchase order section now. It's in the same drop-down list. This is going to open up a purchase order window. So first off, I am able to look at my purchase order history right from here as well. And I could give it a date range, or I could simply just say I want to look at everything, and it's going to show me all my purchases I've ever done in history. Or if I did give it a date range and I said only show me my purchases for July, it will just show me my purchases for July. There are different types of statuses in purchases. Obviously, we have back orders and received and cancels and templates. For the most part, Mary Brown's is using working purchase orders and received purchase orders. There are a couple stores that have made templates, so they are simply copying templates for a future order. There are a couple of stores that like to enter back orders to remind themselves what was on back orders to make themselves a memory on what they have to order in the future. But for the most part, it's simply working and received. So let's go in and actually make a new purchase order. So I'm going to go and add the plus sign here, and I'm going to add a new purchase order. It's asking me, who am I buying from? Well, I am going to be buying from Sysco, or whoever the food service supplier is for this store. The entry date and the receive date. To be honest with you, these dates really don't take effect to really need to do anything, because as long as I'm entering in my inventory within the week of my inventory, it's really going to apply to the same one. I'm not doing daily inventory. So even if I receive something on Tuesday and I'm busy and I don't have time to enter it till Friday, I don't need to change the date to Tuesday. I can just leave the date as Friday because I'm not doing daily inventory. I'm doing the inventory for the whole week. I would always recommend that leave the status as working until you're completed and then change it to something else, because a working purchase order doesn't affect the system. It doesn't save it to inventory. It doesn't change anything like that until you've actually received it. So I'd always recommend leave it as working until you're done. PO number is automatically assigned when you make a new purchase order. The vendor reference number is the invoice number on the order that comes in. Again, Mary Brown's, we're not making orders ahead of time, saving it, and then receiving it 2 days later when it comes in. We're really just taking the invoice of the order that came in and entering it right then and there. We're not receiving a PO that we made 2 days ago. We kind of made the order on the Sysco online or GFS online, or whatever it is we're using. It comes in, we take that invoice, and then we open up the purchase order screen in Bluestreak and enter it in here. So essentially, what were we doing? We're hitting item. It's going to look through the system on everything I buy from Sysco. If I type the word in bag, it's going to search everything with the word bag, whether the bag's at the beginning, whether the bag's at the end, it makes no difference. So I bought some 14-pound bags. I ordered 2 cases. I received 2 cases, and then the unit cost. So the unit cost that's showing up here is the last unit cost that you purchased it at. These prices really shouldn't be changing that often. They're contract prices, but yes, from time to time they do change. So everyone should be checking to make sure that the price is entered correctly. The other thing is, too, is you may have different people doing this entry, and the employee last week might have entered in the wrong price. The employee this week should still be double checking to make sure that every price is right and correct. If the price changes, simply change it. It went up to 10 cents. It's now $53.26. And then I simply hit the check mark, add, and it's going to bring up my list. And then I brought in some cheese. So I brought some curd cheese. I bought in 1 case. I received 1 case. The price was correct. I check mark save, and I keep on going through this process as I keep on buying everything I'm buying, and I'm simply entering it in. Now, a couple things to be aware of. There are products that you can buy in different units of measurements. Straws is a perfect example of one. So I buy straws by a case for $44.99. Okay? However, next week I ordered straws, but I only ordered a box. So let's pretend that this week is next week, and I change this because this is changeable to a box. I have to be very careful here. If I leave this as it is right now, I am going to be telling the system that I just bought a box of straws for $44.99. Clearly, that's going to affect my packaging cost tremendously. So I also need to change the price to reflect what the box price was. So we have to make sure that the stores are educated and trained on this, because this is a very dangerous thing here. And I've seen it many times, and I know Denise has seen this many times too, that someone changes this for whatever reason, and all of a sudden my chicken was purchased by the piece for $103 instead of a case for $103. Well, imagine what that does to my food cost. So we have to make sure stores are trained and not just told not to touch this, but to train and understand and make them understand what this can affect.
And that's a great point, Jared, because even a lot of stores, when I've gone in to train them, a case of pop, for example, the system thinks that a case of canned pop is 24. A lot of our stores get 12-pack cases. So when we're entering it into the system, we have to put it in as such.
Correct.
Otherwise we're going to be short 12 cans for every 12-pack that we purchase.
Correct. Exactly. Very good point. And sometimes I've seen it where stores basically say, you know what, I'm treating pop always as a can. And instead of entering in cases, they're entering in 986, whatever it works out to, cans. And I'm always going to deal with cans, and it always costs me 37 cents. So they basically made a policy in their store that, you know what, it's too much variation. My staff just don't get it. Every pop comes in as a can. Every bottle comes in as a bottle. And then I'm not going to have that problem where it might be entered in wrong.
Yeah, the only thing with that is, though, the 12-packs are typically a little more costly than the 24-packs. So then we have that variance as well.
Just enter it in a separate line.
Yeah.
So I go can pop again for the second line item because I bought 12 of them that were a little more expensive. So on those 12, they were 39 cents or whatever. I'm just using that as an example.
Yeah.
So yes, exactly. But regardless, whatever the store chooses, what we have to make a point of knowing is that how much this little column here, because this is the root of all evil, everybody, that will affect someone's inventory. And for those of you who have experience in inventory is not forgiving. The simplest little mistake will snowball effect to your entire reports, and then it's now what went wrong, how do we find it, and you know, I'm going to bring it up because I'm the one who has to deal with it. It's always Blue Streak's wrong. Blue Streak's not wrong, guys. This has been out for a long time, and every Mary Brown's corporate store has been using inventory. Blue Streak's not wrong. There was a human error who entered in something wrong that's caused a calculation issue. Okay, so I'm going to just cancel these two pop lines just because I don't want to affect everything. Now, I can save this purchase order. If I want a record of this, I can hit print. It will print me what looks like a purchase order. Maybe I just want a copy of it to print off because I know that it was done. There it is. So there's my purchase order on the screen. Not too many stores are using this, but the ability is there. At least it gives you a paper trail that it was actually entered in, and it looks nice and pretty.